Welcome to the Chewing Pens podcast, where we chew pens and stuff. I'm Brittany.
I'm Jeanette.
Yeah.
I think you're there. Yeah.
Do I go?
Yeah, and we have a guest.
Yeah.
What do you do on the internet, Corinne?
I waste a lot of time on the internet.
Awesome.
I do this through watching videos, going on Tumblr, and role-playing.
Oh.
Sounds like
A segue?
A segue.
Segues are weird. Role playing.
Our topic today is role-playing or role-playing games.
Yes.
As they are sometimes known on the internet web thing.
I got really excited because I thought we were going to talk about RPG games, like video games. I was like, wait, no.
No, we could talk about that too. Oh, what is role-playing? What is your guys' definition of the role-playing games, the writing version?
The writing version?
Yeah.
Well, how I always describe it to people is that it's post by post because you're writing it. And it's like writing a story with a bunch of other people and you only play one character. Yeah. So, yeah. There's no graphics or anything. It's just writing, so I like it better because anything can happen.
Yeah.
So.
That's kind of my definition. Like, it's just like you get to play one person, but you're writing with a whole bunch of people. So you don't even know what's going to happen, kind of like with any kind of role-playing game.
Yeah. I've described it a few times as just like an improv exercise, and it's just awesome because you have no idea what's gonna happen next, but you gotta go with it. So.
You're like, well, I guess this is happening now.
Yeah.
An octopus just falls out of the sky. All right, how do I deal with this?
All right. Does anyone know how to get rid of an octopus?
It has fangs. Since we're talking about the writing version of role-playing games, one of the first questions that I had was, why do you think the role-playing format appeals to writers, or us in particular, I guess? Why does it appeal to you?
Probably because you only have to focus on one character.
Yeah,
when you're writing a book, you have to write everything. But if you're only focusing on one character, you can improve your writing and improve, like, getting the character's tone down. So it's like a character study that you get to focus on. And it's fun to see other people writing, too.
Yeah, and it kind of also helps with writer's block, because you don't really know what's going to happen, so, like, even if you're kind of stuck with your character, well, the next couple people who post, they might change something up because they have an idea. So you're like, oh, this is awesome, I can work with this, and it kind of beats that away.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Everyone's kind of working together to write a story, so.
That's what I like, the together part, where it's like, you are an individual, so you're actually, like, yourself, playing a game with a bunch of people.
It's
while
like D&D.
in a world playing a game with a bunch of people. It's awesome.
Yeah. Plus, it reads like Game of Thrones, so it's like if you get bored of a character, you can just switch to one character and just follow their story. So basically, that it helps if you're writing different characters, and you have a certain way of writing one character. You can develop how you write your different sort of characters, so that in the future, if you are writing a book through various people's points of views, then you know how to write each character's thought process, whether it's in third person or in first person. Because I think it's kind of difficult to make sure all the characters think differently.
Yeah, it is very difficult.
I just like it for character creation.
That's, like, one of the things I like.
That's the best part.
Yeah. Like, you can get a lot of really great ideas for characters from, like, what other people have already built. So, like, if you're stuck in kind of a rut, I always believe that, like, you always take something from someone else. So it kind of helps, like, to see how they write and how they create their characters and, like, what characters they've created and, like, stuff like that. And it can apply it to your own writing. So, like, just seeing how other people write can benefit your own writing. Like, that's why, like, a lot of writers read, because if you read a lot of writing,
that's the rule. Like, you can't be a writer if you don't read. Yeah. So we talked about kind of the positives of how it helps your writing with writer's block and writing together and character creation and all that. But what are, like, the negatives of writing in that sort of setting?
Wow, do I have a list.
All right, let's get into that.
I think the biggest negative, besides occasionally losing the muse for your character, is other people. So...
Other people suck.
Other people, yeah. I feel... like on the Roleplay Gateway website we use. And I guess also Storium to an extent. You get a lot of different types of role players. And I've noticed you get the role player who, and we have one of these in SciPrep, and kind of almost in Storium. Yeah. We have the role player who always wants to resolve all the conflicts as soon as they arise, which is really annoying. And it's like the whole point of role-playing is conflict and then getting over the conflict. So I've role-played with people.
How does your character figure it out, or how do you together figure it out?
Exactly. And I understand when the conflict gets drawn out for too long, and then you're like, oh my god, we just keep getting worse and worse. How do we get out?
You just need to end this.
Yeah. But you have the character who you'll introduce like a monster in one post, and then they take care of it in the next post without anyone's help. I'm like, what? How? How are you doing this?
Yeah.
And then you have the people who, like, they put so much into their character. Like, they feel like the character has to be perfect. So they don't make the character flawed. And then they get really mad when people don't love their character. So
he's a douche.
Yeah. Or just boring, or they can't interact with anyone. It's like,
don't like Mary Sue's.
Yeah, so that's annoying.
I also find it, like, you can get stuck in role-playing if, like, people are busy and they don't post for a while, and, like, that's another big issue, because then, like, you just completely forget about it, and it just, like, you're waiting for other people to post, and, like, you can't further any story because, like, well, I don't want them to go on without them, and, like, we need them to post. Or, like, I hate it when, like, in, like, a previous post they, like, post something where they find something, or, like, they have something, like, and then, like, they don't post for, like, 2 months straight, and you're just like, what is with the thing you just found? Like, everyone already responded to, like, what is it? What happened? And then we're just...
I know, everyone is saying the same exact thing because they don't know what it is.
Like, we're just like, what was your train of thought? Help us out here. And that's, like, one of the biggest things that bugs me, is, like, if one person stops posting, it could totally throw off the entire story and, like, throw off the entire momentum of everything.
Yeah.
Which is one of my biggest frustrations, because I can be guilty of it, but, like, half the time Brittany is, like, the moderator for it, so she's like, hey, you want to post? I'm like, yeah, I'll work on it. Poke. Yeah, I got it. I've worked 6 days in a row. Give me a minute to just relax.
Okay,
like,
a poke?
A poke? I'm like, shut up.
Another conflict is when you have character-based role plays, which most of RPGW role plays are character sandboxing sort of relationship stuff, like SciPrep is really character building.
Yeah.
And then you have the plot-driven ones, which Storium has a lot more plot-driven role plays, and I'm in another plot-driven role play on Roleplay Gateway, and I guess with the character one, you have a higher chance of it dying off, like you said, because someone might stop posting or people won't, and then if the GM disappears, it's like, oh my god, where do we go? Yeah. But then in the plot-driven one, I think, especially in Storium, a lot of people get fixed on getting the objective done without staying true to their character. So then,
I noticed that a lot.
And then the other one that I'm in, on Roleplay Gateway, the girl is so focused on the plot that there's not enough time to interact with the characters. So we did a time skip.
To get along.
Yeah, we did like a time skip. It was a 3-year time skip.
What?
Wow.
And we had to talk with the other people to be like, okay, where are our character relationships now? And I'm like, oh my god, like my character, because I play Harper in this roleplay, and Harper is an asshole, as both of you know.
Yes.
And he's the kind of guy where the relationships take some time, but if you do enough interact, like, it can build into something. And
but if you skip ahead,
it gets hard, and I think it's awkward for the other writers because they've been so used to their character acting a certain way to my character. Right. And then you have to think, okay, how is this character going to change? I have to make up events that influence him without actually writing it. So that was kind of hard to get into. So in a way, I like the plot-driven because we've moved a lot in terms of time, but the character stuff gets kind of lost. So
that's very unfortunate, especially playing someone like Harper where you know him so well.
Yeah.
You want to play that character.
You want to do so many things with him.
So many things. Yeah. Like, I also don't like, in certain role plays, like, there's certain ones that I've participated in where, like, when you, like, especially in Roleplay Gateway, that's, like, the only place that I've really dealt with it, was that, like, the GM would, like, make you fill out a thing of who were people you were interested in having relations with, Like, like if you wanted to be enemies with this person, if you wanted to be a love interest with this person. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know any of these characters. I don't know how any of this could progress.
Yeah.
I'm going based on looks alone and what the author has put in the character description. That doesn't tell me as much as you would think it would. And, like, who knows what could potentially happen that could lead to, like, potentially helping them or working with them or being in love with them. Like, I can't...
Yeah.
Like, you're making, like, it was, like, a huge role play that I did that was the first time I had to do it. And it was, like, there was, like, 20 people because it was, like, a huge one. And you had to pick a relationship you wanted with every single one. I was like, I haven't even read every single last of the character descriptions yet. Like, there's, like, a ton. And, like, it was, like, ones where, like, she gave you, like, a code and you had to fill in the code and it had to be certain stuff. And, like, I don't want, like, to read through all of this. And it was just,
That's something you do with, like, friends.
Yeah.
Where, like, you know where everyone is going, and you have, like, constant interaction with those people.
Exactly.
One of the negatives that I found, I don't think I played any on role-playing, but on Storium I'm in one right now where it's not very plot-driven, and it's not really anything-driven. It's kind of just, like, well, it's Big Brother, basically.
Okay.
So you're in the house, and, like, every once in a while there's a competition, but otherwise, you're just sort of talking normally with people.
Okay.
So it's, like, nothing's happening. So, like, what I did to, like, make something happen is my character was underage, so she started drinking, and then she got a phone call. I was playing Hallie.
Freaking Hallie always goes drinking.
Oh, yeah. So she started drinking on camera, and she got a phone call from her aunt that Chandler was in the hospital, so she starts freaking out. So that's what I did. I had to, like, make drama happen to see people react to it.
Yeah.
And I don't like...
Yeah, I feel like I'm always doing that with Harper in this role play I'm in, because I like him because he can literally just do anything, and I'm kind of ticked that I've lost my muse for him briefly in the role play on Storium, but hopefully I will post for him. He's kind of in a low. But in this role play, he's usually the one doing, like, all this really stupid shit, because he's like, I play by my own rules kind of guy. And the GM was complaining to me yesterday how she thought sandboxing in her roleplay was really boring because the characters, like, never do anything. And I'm thinking, like, well, your character always leaves the group. Like, her character just leaves. If you try to interact with her, she's like, she says one thing and then she just leaves the group. And I'm like, okay, that's your character. But there's no way to interact with you. And then I told her, you know, like, why do you think I make Harper do all this stupid shit? And she's like, yeah, but I don't want it to be, you know, a character does something and everyone judges him. And I'm like, but I want to move past that. Hopefully he continues to do the stupid shit and eventually they just kind of accept it or they join in or whatever. Like, I'm not telling the characters to judge him. They're just judging him.
That's just what people do.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this exciting.
To play it out.
Him do this and nothing, and then they just judge him, or she time skips ahead and just writes past it so they don't even get to react to it. I'm like, okay.
Whatever.
Annoying.
That's kind of annoying.
No big
So
deal.
what we're so GMs are a negative?
Sometimes, so they can
Sometimes.
be.
It depends.
Like,
She's kind of so-so. I like her, but she's really kind of like a my way or the highway sort of person.
Yeah. Then again, you can't exactly be, yeah, go for it, do whatever you want, because that's what happened with one of my role plays on Roleplay Gateway with Nightwing, if you remember that, Brittany. Like, I was just so, like, I was so excited that people wanted to join, that I was like, yeah, I'll make a spot for you, whatever. At the point, we had, like, 20 people, and, like, half of them had no idea what was happening, and we had to just write them in, but, like, I was just, like, it was my first role play, and people were like, yeah, I want to join, that's cool.
People accepted me?
What? Cool, great. Like, I can't even, so I, like, left it, and I just stopped going on to RPG, and then I came back, and I was so, like heartwarmed, because, like, everybody had kept continuing it, like, they kept posting in it, and I was just like, aw, and, like, on the OOC, they were like, hopefully, like, Holy comes back, because, like, we really need her, and I was like, guys, it, like, makes me feel really good inside that you, like, wanted to keep it going, but, like, I am at a loss.
This is crazy right
like,
now.
I can't,
I have no idea what's happening.
I have no idea what's happening, there's, like, 20,000 things, I basically need to end it and take some time and, like, get more backstory into it before I can ever restart this back up. And, like, all of them were like, yeah, just PM me when you do, because I would definitely want to join again. I was like, well, that makes me feel nice. So, yeah, it's just like, you have to...
Yeah, that's kind of a negative being a GM.
Yeah, GM is so hard.
It is.
I've
It
started
really is.
maybe 2 role plays. I think the farthest I got was Super What. And then I remember I had to be really picky with those character applications. Like, I was almost coaching one guy through it to the point where I was like, I don't even want to anymore. Like, your character's not good enough. No. But that was hard. And then, like, I made the character do something, and then I got messages from the other players, even though I was a GM, about how they thought I was moving too fast or whatever. And really, I felt like it wasn't moving fast enough. I'm like, oh my God, you
it
guys.
felt super slow.
It was really slow. I think they just got off the bus.
I'm like, yeah, we like drove and we got off the bus and everyone was like debating, should we go to the city or should we like steal these people's stuff? Like,
Should we steal this
that
guy's
was
thing?
what it was, I remember. So then, like, half the people got off the bus, and then half the people didn't. And then I was gonna have a character come and meet them, and it just died off. And like, okay, fine. And then I made a Pacific Rim one that no one was interested in. But then months later, this guy messaged me. He was like, "Hey, are you still doing the Pacific Rim roleplay?" I'm like, sorry, no.
Unfortunately, it didn't pan out.
No.
Yeah, like there's like a happy balance of GM that is very hard to find, where you have to be kind of strict but kind of like you need to give like them freedom because like they're all.
But it's also hard because everyone has such specific writing styles or lack of writing skill.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't want to not include them because they can't write because their character might be good but they can't write.
Like it's hard. Like
it's depressing.
No offense, but can you just like paragraph your stuff? Like I hate that as well. When like people like it's just a block of writing. Like dude, I can't. You like and you just find in the middle of it, someone's talking, but you didn't see the quotation marks because like it's all blurred, and you're just like, what is happening? Like just paragraph it, just indent, just for the love of God.
Press enter. It's easy.
I think Jade is like our best GM. She's the best GM I've ever worked with. She's so good. She's just like that
the longest roleplay I've ever been a part of.
2 years. 2 years.
2 years.
And it's only like moved forward 2 months.
They haven't even been at the school that long. Well, no, they get there in the summer and now it's winter.
Yeah, I think it moved forward like 2 or 3 months.
We did a time skip where they were like training.
Yeah, a time skip to when the baby comes out. That's gonna be interesting.
To when the baby comes out.
Yeah. One thing I was not expecting was a teenage pregnancy.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited.
She's planning so much shit to go down. She told me her plans. I was like, no, and I don't know if she's still gonna stick with it or not, but I'm glad it's coming back again. We should talk about shipping.
That wasn't one of my questions, but yes, go.
I freaking love shipping. I can ship anything together. They have to match, but I can ship like a broom and something else with each other if it had a face. Broom and the Swiffer thing. I don't know. Just
Swiffer.
Broom. I'm already coming up with the ship. You got the Swiffer, who's like the new updated person.
I want this to be a roleplay now. Go.
Yeah. And the broom's like Wall-E and
the broom. Oh, it's like an even Wall-E remake, but with a Swiffer wet jet and a broom.
Dude, I want to be the weird third wheel, but he's like a chair. He's just like watching.
What do we want to talk about with shipping?
It's fun to ship. Like you just kind of start like when certain characters get together, like you're just like, yeah, that's a thing.
I like when you know that two characters are totally gonna, end up together because like then you can do that with your character with someone who's gonna do it back. I hate it when people like don't recognize flirting. It's like these two characters should be together, and then they just go for someone else.
Okay, let's pull my example, right? I've mastered it in writing. Just give me this. Yeah, it's fun to ship, but it's like you said, Brittany, it's like awful when like they don't get it, and you're just like, oh, come on.
It's like you think about it, it's like these two characters should be together because they're complete opposites, and it would be hilarious.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like, story-wise, this would work.
Kind of ship Harper and Rory.
I do too.
Just because they're so...
Yeah, they're so different. It's
I
just
want it so bad.
I want it too. Plus, they've like had the most interaction. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, they'd be so good. But then I'm like, oh, but if Harper sees a hot guy, he's gonna start going after that. I don't know.
It needs to happen. All right. So,
Clearly, shipping is fun.
Yes. It's
Everyone
so
does it.
good.
Oftentimes, everything works out because, like, secretly the writers are thinking the same thing. Sometimes it doesn't.
I feel like that
people
happened
suck.
with me, Kyle, and Hallie.
Yeah. I don't even know how.
I
I don't even remember
I remember.
how it
Okay,
happened.
I can't remember because when they first met, he was like listening to some music or something. They were standing in the back of the auditorium, and she got cold, so she left. And he got bored or something, so he left. So they were just stuck in the hallway
Oh
together.
no! What happened was she pulled his energy so that for whatever reason, remember?
Yeah.
But I didn't read that part. Like I just kind of skimmed through it. And I didn't catch that,
Yeah.
so I wrote him being tired, and then she thought that she did it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this works. And then she like ran out, and then he followed. He's like, oh, are you cold? And
Are you cool?
It worked.
it worked. I'm like, oh my god.
I just like the idea of a guy running after going, hey, you cold?
That's kind of what happened. I mean,
Excuse
Kind of
me?
what?
she was like
like,
shivering, and he was
Are
like,
you okay?
Like, I just have, like, a really creepy image in my head. Just, like, some dude is just following a girl, and the girl's like, huh. He's like, you cold? She's just like, what the No! She just runs away.
So one of my last questions is, what would be your ideal role play?
Ooh.
Ooh.
You can include
Oh.
characters you've written before, plots, GM personality, I don't know, whatever you want.
I think I really wanted to do like a superhero role play.
That would be
They've
awesome.
never, the ones I've been in have never taken off very far.
Yeah,
So I really wanted to do like a super.
Yeah, I did a superhero one once, and my character had, like, telekinesis, and she could also, like, move through walls and stuff, so she was kind of like Nightcrawler, but not, which was really cool, but it never took off, and I was like,
I want to play you.
I liked you, you were cool, now you're not. Like, that's what it seems to happen with every superhero roleplay I go into, is, like, it just
Yeah.
stops, and I think it's
Yeah.
because, there's too many crazy
There's too
superheroes,
many
or, like,
people
whatever.
and they feel like they can take down a thing by themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not good cooperation, essentially. Like,
Someone wants
it's hard
to
to write
be
a
Mr.
superhero one.
Fantastic.
The hero, yeah, he wants to be. Mr. Fantastic is actually kind of a lame
I know.
superhero.
But they want that name, you know?
He's just
Yeah.
stretchy. Although he does have cool hair.
Okay.
He has, like, the gray streaks. And stuff.
Yeah.
So, superhero roleplay. That would be awesome if it actually worked.
Yes.
Any other
Yeah.
like worlds that you would want to write in that you haven't yet,
Mm.
and that would work?
I really wanted to do a cheesy romance, like a rom-com.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like just this regular rom-com.
So many cliches.
Like, it's just called the cliche, and it's all of them.
Oh my god, that's perfect!
What are some other
I've always
ones
wanted
that
to
I
do
really-
like super like intense and elaborate vampire like families
Oh,
and like they're warring
yeah.
or something. I've always wanted to do that.
I was almost in something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it could have gone there, but it ended up dying. And I was playing Albert, who's a vampire that doesn't want to be a vampire. He's adorable. But, like, his family's really powerful. And I was, like, planning all this stuff.
Yeah, I
and
joined
everything
a
was
few-
going to be
they
so
always
good.
die.
They always
Yeah.
die.
Even no, it doesn't matter how much planning the GM does. They always die.
Yeah.
It always dies.
Hunger Game roleplay. I think that's the worst roleplay idea.
Ooh.
Because people get too attached to their characters. I was playing two of them. I was playing Harper and another character I'd made up. And I was like, I know I was like, Harper's probably not going to win. I just know. He's not. I feel like he
I'm
would
just
kill
imagining
people.
Harper in, like, a forest, just like, the fuck is with these trees?
It's raining?
He's like, I'm just gonna stay in the water. I'm gonna swim.
Like, I imagine Harper, like, the little discs that they come on, and like, you can't leave it until the horn house. He's like, whatever, just steps off of it.
He would be the first one dead, I think.
Just like,
That's so
horn
fun.
sounds,
Yeah.
fuck that. Just walks off. It's like,
Yeah.
you,
You don't control me.
you don't know my life. I can be impervious to explosions. Whatever.
Yeah, so I knew he wasn't gonna make it, but I had another small girl character. I'm like, she could. She's small enough that people could overlook her, but they were going with, like, someone else's character, and then other people were like, no, I think my character would win. I think my character would win. I'm like, yeah, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah, this is probably
Die. It's just not a good roleplay idea.
No.
Yeah, because people get way too attached to their characters, so, like, nobody ever really wants to see their character die. Although, I've had to kill off a lot of characters because they just stopped playing them, so it's just like,
Okay.
just get those people to come in, and then just once they stop posting, just kill them. They're dead now. They stood by that tree for a little too long, so clearly they were asking for it.
21 seconds. 20 seconds is the required amount. 1 second over.
Yes.
Nope. Done.
Plus, killing your own characters is kind of hard. I had a tough time killing off April. I almost didn't.
Oh, that was so sad.
That was hard.
I was, like, surprised that it happened.
I had made her knowing I would kill her. She was like, man, I'm like, I know she's gonna die. She's not permanent. Because if she stays alive for too long, the kill would go with her.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
So-
I was like, triangles, yay.
Yeah.
Yay, drama.
But then she died, and it was sad because, like, Jade and I were, like, secretly shipping her with Liesel, and it was so good. They had, like, dominatrix relationship. It was perfect. But it was just headcanon. Like, our characters is hard.
It is.
Especially, like, right up to the moment you're gonna hit that submit button. You're like, do I not?
That's another thing that I think it could be considered a good or a bad thing about role-playing, I guess, is that you kind of feel like you have to censor yourself in some ways,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not good writing-wise.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing that, I'm sorry to use an example that Jeanette has nothing to do with, but the part where James and Zara in the bedroom and the,
Oh no, that scene!
I was like,
Oh
I
my
really
god.
didn't want to do it, but I was like, that's totally where his head is right now.
That
And it ruined
scene
everything. I'm so sad.
did. I'm so upset. Jade was really worried about that scene too. She was like, Lucina!
Nothing happened.
Oh.
My
Feels.
boyfriend is home.
Yay!
Do you want to come say hi?
I'll put it on the podcast.
Ooh, he does want to say hi. He actually nodded.
Hey,
I'm talking to two people today.
new friends.
Shit.
This is Joseph. This is
Hi.
Corinne. And this is Brittany. You know Brittany.
Yeah, I've met half of those
We've
people.
met.
That was-
That would be a good one, a good mystery.
Yes, that would be really fun.
It's just
It would have to be
like-
really planned out though.
Yeah, because like when we talked about it for setting, like mysteries are so like, you have to get a lot of
something
details.
set up. And if
Yeah.
someone figures it out like super early, it's like, oops.
Oh,
That was
Yep.
oh darn. Well, they solved it. Role play's over.
And then someone with
Bye.
a gun shoots them.
Yeah.
Oops.
That's pretty much like that would be like crappy. Like it would be like what you would do in a normal mystery novel was like, oh, this person figured it out. Let's kill them now. But like in a role play, like you'd have to like make sure it's okay with that person because like to just completely kill off their
Yeah.
character, it's just like one, like they probably wouldn't like it, and two, like it's just like it's hard to convince somebody like, hey, I want to kill off your character because they know what's going to happen. So okay, cool with
Well,
that?
there's also, you have to think about, would the character figure it out? Or is it
Yeah,
just
exactly.
role player figuring
Yeah,
it
yeah,
out?
yeah, yeah. Like you have to do a lot of talking with your like in PMs with
Mhm.
other people, just be like, hey, have you figured it out yet? Like, make sure your character doesn't figure it out because
Yeah.
your character wouldn't figure it out because you're playing the ditzy blonde in this scenario or something like that. Like, even
Yeah.
though you've got it down, like, still roleplay it right.
Yeah.
Maybe
The only
just-
bad thing I would say about role playing, like as a entire like experience, is that it does kind of take away from my actual writing time. So
Yeah. That's a problem. Because, like, when it gets
that's
exciting,
all you want to
it gets,
write,
like,
but then like
exciting,
when it gets
and you're just like,
exciting
I
and
just
stuff
wanna
that
write.
you're writing, you're like
Yeah.
away from the role play, and then people get mad at you, and it's just like, I'm sorry.
Oh, I came up with another question. What are your favorite things to roleplay, like writing-wise? What are the favorite scenes you like to roleplay?
I like
I like
action scenes
one-on-one.
because they get really exciting
With other characters.
and, like, intense. One-on-one scenes are fun, too.
Yeah. I like role-playing arguments.
That's really
I
That's
love
fun.
role-playing arguments. Oh my god. Those are so good.
It helps with writer's block often
Yep.
because you can get ideas from role-playing, I find helps.
Yeah.
Or, like, it can really get you in the spirit to write, which is
Yeah.
another thing that really helps because sometimes you're just not in the mood.
And I
It
love
happens to me all
It
the
kind
time.
of okay. I'm just thinking of a Joss Whedon quote. Sorry, but someone asked him, you know, about Buffy, I think it was, and they were like, if you could like act one of the characters, who would you act? And he's like, all of them. And I was like, that's what every writer wants to say. And it's like, with role playing, you can act out the character that you've always wanted to like play. A lot of writers I know want to be actors, but they're better
Yeah.
at writing. So yeah, that's how I see it. It's like that's your outlet to like act and not have to worry about the story part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Like, you finally get your own moment to just be like, you know what? You handle the plot. I'll be over here enjoying some donuts with the other characters created. Yeah, it's fun. It's a great way to, like, get
Yeah,
inspiration to write
it's
and,
so
like,
fun
ideas.
to like
Because some people have
just
really good
be
ideas.
with so many other writers and like compile into this wonderful thing. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's like,
Mhm.
Everyone,
yeah, everyone should do it.
everyone,
They should. Everyone.
astronauts,
Yes.
Right now,
You.
go.
firefighters,
Even
go.
No, not me.
Yes, you.
I got
People who burgle things,
I
go.
got
Even monkeys, go.
People who burgle things.
If that's the end of our podcast, so where can they find
finally.
you, Jeanette, on the internet?
I am all over the place. I am at Holy Hat Adventures on YouTube. I'm at Holy Crap a Ghost on Tumblr, and probably other places, but
Okay.
those are the only two that really are coming to my mind right now. I don't have a Twitter, so just don't try that.
And where can they
Please
find
don't.
you, Corinne?
You can find me definitely on RolePlaying, but you can find me on my YouTube, but there's nothing on my YouTube. So if you really want to find me,
Don't look there.
don't look there. There's just weird violin playing and animations on that site. But you can find me on Tumblr at seriously
Alright.
awesome. Tumblr.com.
I'm EK Ronnie
And where can
on
they find
YouTube,
you,
Twitter,
Brittany?
Facebook, Tumblr, all the things, Instagram, all the things.
Throughout the day.
So yeah, that's our
Pretty much
podcast.
it.
Tune in next time. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
have another guest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to talk to people. Next time, we're probably going to be talking about either
Woo!
fan fiction or killing off characters or I had another
Both
one.
really
There was like
sad.
another option. I can't remember what it was. But hey! All right.
I'm gonna go to bed now.
Go to bed. Go to sleep.
Good night. I have to be up at 3, and it's already 9 in
Oh,
my
night.
neck of the
Go
woods.
sleep.
So
Said bye, right? Stop recording.
I'm ready for sleep.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye.